three, two, one.
Hello everyone, you're in orbit with Launch Team 6352. I'm your host Aditya, and today I'm joined by Arnav Kannan, who is a rising freshman at ASU, right?
I mean, yeah, you could technically say it like that, but you could also just say I just graduated high school. Like you
Yeah,
could say I'm a
he's
senior.
recent
Or
recent graduate, recent graduate. And today we'll be talking
why
about
do
a
you have
little
to
bit
make me
about
seem older, man?
you're not old, you're still like my age in my eyes.
Thank you. What are we talking about today?
Today we'll be talking about your it's all about you, it's your senior experience on Launch Team.
Bro, let me get you started. The senior experience is so crazy. It's like, especially when you've been with the team for 4 years, it's like, whoa, bro. You start, you start like having these flashback moments. It's like I'm in a TV show and it's cutting and it's taking me back to freshman year when I didn't know anything about anything. You know what I mean? Like it takes me back to that time. I get in that mindset and I'm like, "Oh, I need to make this dude proud." And then I come back to like present day and it's like, "Oh, look, I learned this stuff. I know how to do this stuff." And like I'm being more proactive and everything, but then everything just becomes like 10 times more valuable cuz you're like
Yeah.
the less you have of something, the more valuable it becomes, obviously. It's like economics 101 or whatever. So, like, that's scarcity right there. And then every single second of being on the team becomes more and more scarce. So, every single second of the team becomes more and more valuable. And you're just trying to get as much done in as little time. It's so crazy. Especially at the beginning of senior year. It's like, wow, this is my
Yeah,
last
and
year as a student.
yeah, there's a lot of like I mean not that I've been there yet, but like I assume that there's a lot of emotions
You
that
will come join me.
in a few months I'll be there. But
And
I guess like in your senior experience, obviously I can ask the same questions like, what was your favorite moment? But I think, let's make it a little bit spicy. So, um, how about like what in terms of senior experience was the one thing that you enjoyed so much, but you didn't expect it to be that enjoyable, I guess.
Oh my, that's a really good question. Like, I gotta think back to like the beginning of the year, like, oh, it's my senior year. Hmm. I think, okay, I always enjoyed, okay, so this is the one thing. I always enjoyed like having our little team discussions with all the students when we're talking about strategy, especially at the beginning of the year, those first couple of weeks when we're talking about strategy, designing prototypes and all that. I always enjoyed those parts, like just getting to talk with everybody and like collaborating. That's like peak teamwork right there, and you feel that. But I thought, oh, we've done this 4 times. Like, I'm not gonna be. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my answer last second. Um, one thing that I never truly enjoyed, even though it's really important to the team, is like doing documentation and or reading. First of all, reading documentation, like setting stuff up and doing documentation. All that stuff is like a little. It seems tedious in my head, right? But then like senior year, especially leading into it a little bit because I was also mentoring an FTC team, so I could understand a little bit of the four FTC teams at the same school. But I could understand a little bit of the background that goes into this kind of stuff, right? And then going into senior year, as we started doing our documentation, I kind of started enjoying like the documentation process, like understanding how to communicate what our team is doing, how to communicate some like outreach events, how to communicate, you know, anything that we have going on. Basically, just learning how to do that, how our team goes about communicating that to other people outside the team. I found that actually enjoyable this year, and I think it's interesting. It's like I don't know why that happened, because we did it every year. It's like a common occurrence. I don't know what made it click. I mean, obviously, it could be the things I was referencing, right? The FTC coaching, but I don't know. It's
Well, I mean,
interesting.
yeah, I mean that's just like how experience like life experiences are. Like everything happens for a reason, and I feel like maybe since it was a senior year when you are the most mature in your mind, you start to feel grateful for those experiences. So that could have been one thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously something that you never really explored before, or maybe like you hadn't got in depth before. You started to enjoy more because now you're at this like point in your life where you can start to look back and see how it helped you. Because like let's say it was like freshman year, you getting involved in the same thing. you would have probably, like as you said, like you would have been like, oh, this is so tedious. Why do I have to work on this, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, now you're doing a podcast about saying how enjoyable it was. So it's a big like
And wait, am
character
I
growth.
really? Oh my God. I'm in a podcast right now? Yo, this is crazy. Bro, this is so crazy, bro. I'm like in a box. Nah, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I
Yeah,
can like obviously it happens for a reason, right? But like it's just crazy to me that it did because I'm not the kind of person that likes doing that tedious stuff.
yeah, makes
You know,
sense.
I like learning new things. To, like I just like going. But when you have to do something that's very intricate and every single detail matters, it gets difficult, especially when it takes time. So I don't know. I'm happy that it came out like that because at the end of the day, it's just a positive thing. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, and I guess like going with those unexpected experiences. Let's say obviously with like the members on our team, right? Like I feel like when everyone comes to robotics, they say, "Oh my God, I found like a community with comes to the team." So like, assuming like that's true for you, which I know it is. So let's say that there's like an interaction with our team members. Like, what's the one thing about your interaction with other members that surprised you, or like was something new in terms of like a friendship as a whole, compared to like what you have at school and any different types of areas in your life?
oh, this is really good actually. I've thought about this before, so it's actually good that you asked me a question I've actually thought about. Um, uh, the thing I notice about like my friends at school versus my friends and I guess you could say like teammates at robotics is that
Coworkers.
at school coworkers.
That's
No, we're
okay.
not
I'm kidding.
working
I'm kidding.
though. My peers. Either way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Uh, either way, it's so different because at school, I don't know if I can like they almost always have the same like everything's so predictable with them, you know? It's like a I learned in English class one time. There's like a flat character versus round characters. Round characters are ones that develop throughout the entire story. They get
Yeah.
these little. I love that word nuances, right? They get these little details that get sprinkled in here and there that just like
Complexity.
adds to
Complexity
their
characters.
complexity and like adds to their background and adds to your interactions with them and it affects how the characters talk and everything. And then you have flat characters that are just smart at the beginning, smart at the end, or like funny at the beginning, funny at the end, and you know
Yeah.
they're interesting. But after you get them for so long, like you still find them. They have most of the time they have the same like qualities and everything, and like you don't change your interactions as much. I feel like with you guys, right, my robotics teammates, my robotics friendships, every single meeting is like new sprinkles getting added into your guys' emotional pie. You know what I mean?
And I think the
Like
reason for that is
it's
like,
like
yeah, go ahead.
I was like it's like your personality is like there's like a chef above us and he's like every time we have a robotics meeting he's like mixing the pot, adding ingredients here and there. Each of us are like different like parts and it's like it just changes so fast. Everything's so like I already said I like that kind of stuff where it's changing so fast, right? I like that. It gives me something to, you know, talk to, communicate. Like it just gives me some. I don't know what that chemical in your brain is called, but it gives me some of that.
Dopamine?
I don't know. Maybe it's dopamine. I don't know if that's a good thing if it's dopamine, but
Well, I don't think
maybe I
dopamine
need a
is bad. It's
detox.
only like excess dopamine when you're like addicted to doing like watching YouTube for
Yeah,
so much.
fair enough.
That's what it is.
Fair enough.
But
No, but what were you
yeah,
gonna
I mean,
say?
I agree. I think like the reason for that is because like launch team is a community team, obviously, so we all have different experiences and different personalities, like kind of stem from our own schools. So that's kind of like where I feel like diversity of experiences as a whole is just beneficial in general because like nobody wants to be around same group of people. At least I don't because I feel like I can't really grow in that aspect. It is definitely like more comfortable sometimes, but I feel like in the long run you start to get like bored of it, and I feel like you strive for something new. So I think like I definitely agree with you on that. And like going with this, now that you have all these experiences as a senior, since you obviously have like a mentor like role, like you have all the knowledge that you're sharing on this podcast as a whole, but I mean, what are your plans for after um this year? I know you're going to be a freshman at ASU as I mentioned in the beginning, but are there any like long-term plans now you're starting college?
You know, it's really bad, but I haven't thought about any of that. I mean, people say like you should, kind of start planning that stuff ahead of time. I kind of just went with the flow. Stuff just happened,
Let the wind take you
I let,
wherever you need to be.
huh? Yeah, exactly, exactly. I just let whatever happened happen, and I kind of was going with it. So, as for plans, I'm definitely gonna first is always gonna be a part of me, right? So many of my interests have been either started by First or heavily influenced or basically just like created by First by my all the stuff that I did in First, right? So it's always gonna be part of me. I think I'm just at ASU in the fall. I'm gonna maybe see if I can join clubs or obviously there's that First alum network. You know, there's different things like that, but I'm definitely gonna get myself into things that are very similar. And then I don't know if this is where the question you were heading to, kind of thing, but about my influence on the team, I'm not exactly sure about my future so far. Obviously the in season is we're in the off season right now, right? So I don't. I'll definitely come to whatever events that we come to later this year. A few of them, see how that goes, and then I have to kind of talk to the mentors about my future on the team. I guess it sounds like I'm a free agent in the NBA or in the NFL or something. And I'm trying to like figure out where I'm going to sign or something. It feels like I'm LeBron and he's like doing this Miami Heat thing.
Yeah,
But no, to answer your question, I don't really have any plans so far.
that's okay. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of pressure that comes with like plan. And I guess like this is kind of my fault for asking the question, but like I mean there's a lot of pressure in terms of like what are your plans? I think for high school it's about where you're going for college, and then for college students it's like what do you want to do or like where's the next job going to come or like where do you want to apply to? I guess stuff like that. So I think like sometimes just in general like if we like take a step away from like first in general, but like in life I feel like we place a lot of value on planning, and it is important to obviously like have a direction, but um, when we say that when we have the expectation that we're gonna like choose one major in college, like choose one job to commit to, I feel like especially like our generation, I feel like we're more prone to like switching around a little bit and like kind of exploring our interests, which I don't think is a bad thing
Yeah.
because like humans in general like providing value to the world is better to do in many different fields rather than just like one specific area. And of course there are some people like that who try to go very in depth with a specific field, and like I have like utmost respect for them, but I mean I
Mhm.
feel like it's okay to try and stray away from the norm a little bit.
I think we all just gotta live in the present a little bit more. Just stop caring about the future, caring about the now.
And the future is also like
That was so fire.
part of quote number two.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, I mean
Where's
like
Olivia? We need her to write this in the
oh yeah,
quote
she
book.
is a quote book. Hopefully Olivia will come on the podcast soon. But
Yeah.
we'll interview her as a guest, and she can show everyone the quote book. I'm just kidding. No.
Oh.
But yeah, anyway, I mean the future is pretty unpredictable, and I think like as you said, we should just be grateful for what we have and try and live in the moment a little bit. I feel like it's a lot easier said than done, but I mean I
Yeah.
feel like this like
Definitely.
whenever you're like in a experience, I feel like just taking a moment or two just to like breathe and like say like I'm here, I'm enjoying this, I'm living this moment, like I'm so happy I'm in this situation right now, like and then kind of just like observing the world around us. Like I do that a lot sometimes, like especially when I'm in like nature. I feel like just like feeling grateful for being able to breathe the fresh air and like notice the trees around us, even though Arizona has very few trees, but I mean, you have to be grateful for that, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's a wider theme to what you're saying.
No, but then after doing that, we got to do the same thing that we did right before senior year. Right before senior year, regular season, I was in that Zen state. I was I was in my meditative state, taking everything in, almost in this higher dimensional being, looking down at my future, and I'm like, wait, it's grind season now. That's how senior year felt. I'm taking
Yeah,
this back to senior year, reminiscing on all the moments, and I'm thinking, wow, like every single thing, every single step was like the most effort, the utmost, you know, time taken to do stuff. Not time in the sense of being slow at doing things, but just taking more time to do things and doing more things. There was so much effort put into this one area, it became like it became life.
Yeah.
The blood was coursing through my veins. No, I'm joking.
Okay, buddy. All right. Anyway, that was a little bit about Arnav's senior experience, and I guess like that's
Wait,
wait. Okay,
you better be ready for this year. You're gonna be a senior this year, so you better be ready for this.
I will be a senior. Maybe next time you'll interview me about my senior experience in the future.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Who
All right.
wants
Well,
me
anyway,
back? Comment below.
yeah, yeah. Comment below. Share this episode. Give a rating if you can. Again, we hope you enjoyed. Hopefully that was helpful or at least entertaining to whoever's listening. And we hope to see you all next week. This was In Orbit with Launch Team 6352. I'm Aditya,
I'm Arnav.
and have a good day.